Welcome back to another week of Behind the Scenes at Silent Turf, where we're documenting our David versus Goliath battle as we try to build a builder's merchant alongside our 50-year-old family turf farm, competing against huge private equity money and some of the oldest companies around. As always, smash that like button and hit subscribe to continue watching our journey and see if these two underdogs can cause an upset. I'm Jack, he's George, and this is Building a Family Business, episode 20. Cue the music! Welcome back to another episode and another manic Monday. We're out in the field this morning. My dad and George have just come in to pick up their first loads. I'm not sure, but potentially the first time on the channel that you'd have seen the lorries out in the field. So we've got loads to get on with this week. We've got fertilizer on my dad's lorry at the moment, which we're going to unload in a minute. I'm going to put the spinner on and go and spin that on later today. We've got new seed that needs fertilising as well. Get some nitrogen on the ground as the soil temperature warms up to kick all that on and get it ready for harvesting later on in the year. Still got loads more rolling to do around the other side. So as always, a busy start to the week.
New wrap rub. What do you reckon?
Yeah, nice. Got little handles on that one.
It's got a blue line on it. This is very high tech. When it's straight, it means it's tight enough.
Well, that's very techy for us. We're going to figure that out.
Maybe I'll understand it.
When's that lorry going to get resprayed?
Christmas.
You doing it wash it up again this morning?
Yeah.
Right. What are you doing in my truck?
I'm going to quote a job. I think it's turf.
Played golf this weekend.
Twice.
2 rounds.
Yeah.
The old George is back.
I know.
How'd you get on?
3 over and 6 over.
Rubbish. Then.
Not good.
What's golf tip of the week?
On every shot you take, have a specific target. So even if you're just hitting a tee shot and you're aiming for the fairway, don't just aim for the fairway. That's not precise enough. You need to pick something in the distance, like a branch of a tree or a flag or a post, something, and aim for that. And then you'll find that if you aim small, you'll miss small.
Aim small, miss small, baby. Nice one.
Yeah.
George's golf tip of the week. I'll go win us some work.
I'll try.
See you in a bit.
Hopefully my quoting's better than my goal.
You got 2, or you bought 3 altogether?
Yeah.
Well, triple 16 here, because it's had some nitrogen, hasn't it? And then a 2010 over Lockley. Kick that one on. And then we'll have to think about where we put the third one. Alright. Oh yeah, okay. We've been lucky this winter, cutting on pure sand. The only thing with it is that it does change so quickly that when it gets cold, the temperature in the soil will almost instantly drop. Whereas the clay will hold its temperature for a little bit, and then the same when it comes to drying out. The clay will hold a bit of moisture where the sand will dry out very quick. And also doesn't hold onto the nutrients like a more clayier soil will. So there's pros and cons to both. One of the best purchases we made this winter was buying this on-site storage unit. We're just finding it so more efficient to be able to store stuff out here rather than tracking it from the yard, which is about half an hour away. So we just put a spare fertilizer bag in there as well as some more chemical So we got it there ready when we want to put that on. We've still got two out up the top, so I'm going to spin them on later today, and then that will just be a spare one on there ready for when we need it. But Dad was just talking then as well about whether it's worth investing in some more so that we can, instead of taking the fertilizer spinner and the sprayer back, we reckon we could probably back them into little containers like that and then leave them out as well. Again, just so that we can work more efficiently as we're trying to push the quality up. The more efficient that we can be is only going to help. This here is our fertilizer spinner, which we use to spread all of our granule fertilizer on over the fields. This has been a really beneficial piece of kit for us for two main reasons. The first being that this runs off of GPS. So there's a GPS box on the roof of the tractor which connects to a control panel in the cab, which then talks back to the spinner, and we just input into there exactly how many kilograms of fertilizer we want to put on per hectare of grass, and then it works it out for us. So as I increase my ground speed, it will open up and put more fertilizer on, and then if the ground speed of the tractor slows down, for instance you're coming to the end of the line or you're turning, it will instantly register this, close off a little bit and put less fertilizer on, so that we're getting a really even amount of fertilizer spread at the exact amount that we want to put on the field. The second thing is, if you come around here, is we've got this headland setting. So this is hydraulically controlled. When I pull the lever in the cab, this folds down to the spinning discs, and that's when you're going around the outside of the field on the headland, and it will limit how much the fertilizer gets thrown out. So this is a 20-meter spinner, so it throws the fertilizer 20 meters to the left, 20 meters to the right. When this is down, it will only throw it 10 meters, so I can drive closer to the headland and get the same amount of fertilizer on that 10 meters to make sure that the outside of the field is getting the same amount of fertilizer as the middle of the field, which is something we struggled with before, and we weren't getting good growth around the outsides of the field. But since we've had this, things have been a lot better and it's improved that. So I'll quickly show you how it works. So obviously you can see it's a big hopper. We can get about 3 bags of fertilizer in there, probably get 4 in, but because we're only using little 4-cylinder tractors, we haven't really got the lifting capacity to take 4, so we put 3 in. Fertilizer sits in the hopper and it works its way down. These discs at the bottom spin round really fast. And the fertilizer drops out of here where these brushes are. Again, that's where it's controlled by the GPS box. And the GPS box is telling it how much to let out here, drops onto the discs, and they then spin round and launch it onto the field. But we're just about to go and put a couple of bags on, so we'll grab the camera out and it should all make more sense. So what my dad's doing now is he's adjusting the disc slightly to adjust the drop point, which is where the fertilizer lands onto the discs. So for different size granules, you slightly adjust the drop point so that it either lands on the beginning of the rotation or the end of the rotation, which will fling it further or shorter.
What number do we want?
Then you want N13.5 on the telematic border.
We've only got 13.
So we're looking for N13.5. But his eyesight's not as good as it used to be. Pardon?
What's the end?
You see alright, or do you want me to come and do it?
That's in, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's this one on the bill?
We're looking for 13.5. 13 at the moment. Put the landing up. First race of the season this weekend.
Yeah,
Australia.
yeah.
Excited for it?
Yeah.
Nice early start. 5 AM quali, 4 AM race. Who's going to win the season this year?
We'll know tomorrow. We know Sunday, won't we?
Norris?
Yeah, I think he's favourite, I think.
Hamilton going to go well in the Ferrari?
Hope so.
What about Max?
Well, I hope he doesn't finish.
Hope he doesn't finish.
Yeah.
Savage. Right, let's put some on them. We've just made a little bit of a rookie mistake because we've realised we've not got the telehandler around here to load these fertiliser bags into the hopper. My dad's Moffat forklift is here, but it doesn't have enough height because where the bags are so tall, you need so much height to be able to lift them into the hopper. Luckily, George's lorry's parked here whilst he's out quoting a job. So I'm just moving the bags over next to his lorry now, and we're going to use his crane to put them into the hopper. Just going to get out and quickly check that the spinner is actually closed off before we put the granules in. Because if you look over on the Solent Turf Instagram page, there's a very embarrassing video where we made a cool reel actually of when we were last doing the fertilising. But if you look carefully, as I'm putting the fertiliser in, I didn't check the bottom of the spinner and it's all running straight at the bottom into a massive heap on the floor. And after making that, I had to get the shovel out and spend about 45 minutes shoveling it up. So I'm not making that mistake again. But yeah, the discs are all closed off, so we're good to go. The only issue we've got is neither of us can work out how to use George's crane. He's going to be mad when he sees this. He gets very touchy over people using his lorry. It sets his autism off. So, if George can do it, we can definitely figure it out.
A few moments later.
You're losing your rag, aren't you? Yay! That will be another 15 minutes figuring out this bit. Ah, you got it. One of the issues you can have when you store fertiliser for too long is it almost goes off hard like concrete. So we've cut the bottom of the bag but nothing will just drop out, where it's all just congealed into one solid lump. So we're just going to try and get a big scaffold tube and give it a whack and see if we can get some to drop out. It's always a bit risky because you don't want too much to drop into the spinner. Obviously that's a lot of weight in that bag. If it all crashes at once, it'll do damage to the spinner. Throw the whole thing. The dad's just heading out on the last minute delivery. A client literally just phoned. They were desperate for a few pallets of turf out this afternoon. So So it's about 4 o'clock now, so I jumped in the harvester. Luckily I just finished cutting another order, so I was able to get them cut instantly straight on my dad's lorry, and he's off out with them now. It's only going up the road, so within probably 20-30 minutes of them ringing the office, the turf's going to be harvested and straight on site with them. Me and my dad are just finishing up for Monday in the yard, banding up some orders that are going out tomorrow. I think it's all going on George's lorry, and that will be it for Monday. I've just picked up the roller to carry on with some more rolling this afternoon, and I'm trying to move fields with it. Because of the angle of the gateway, I couldn't get the swing to get out, to get down the track. So I'm having to reverse all the way down the track to go past the gateway for the other field so I can then drive into it. So stand by for an absolute reversing masterclass. No shunts required, that's how we roll. I just want to make it known that George wouldn't have been able to do that. This field I'm in now is the youngest crop that we've got. So you can probably see behind me it's got a lot of growing on to do yet before it's ready for harvesting for turf. It's coming up to about 5 months old now, I think it is. We're stuck in a bit of a catch-22 with it because we're having to get on with the flat roller to try and roll out the ruts. But looking at it now, we're also starting to struggle with a bit of compaction. And obviously putting the flat roller over it is only going to make that worse. So all we can do is carry on with the flat rolling, try and get the ruts out, get it as level as possible. And then we'll have to get on with some aeration and some overseeding, I think, and get some fertilizer on when we get sort of into the middle of the spring to try and help kick it on. Also, a quick update on the mole situation, because out of all of the videos that we filmed, I think I've had more messages about trying to catch the moles than I've had out of all of the other videos combined. At least once a day somebody messages me, oh, have you caught them moles yet? I feel like matey on Hot Fuzz. Any luck with them swans? No, I cannot catch the moles. Next time I go over, I'll grab the camera out again, but I stopped filming because it felt like it was just getting boring. But everyone seems to be loving the fact that I can't catch these stupid moles. So yeah, haven't caught any of them over there yet, and they're doing more and more damage. I don't know what I'm going to do with them.
Right, if you don't like small spaces, this isn't a job for you. The old man's currently in here cleaning out these little glass panels.
Little brush there somewhere.
Yeah.
Chuck it in there.
You went through that last time.
No, I went over it.
Oh.
Not as agile as I used to be.
Just zooming out so they can see what you're coming out of. Cleaning these. These are so that when you're filling it up, you can tell how much water's in it. You're designed to fit in there, weren't you? All done for another year?
I'm going to take you for a little trip down memory lane. I'm at the top of one of our fields, and this section up here, we used to use it as a little yard area. But when we were doing a lot of landscaping jobs, quite specifically turf laying, we were stripping a lot of turf off and bringing it back. And we used to recycle it, well not recycle it, we used to just store it up in this top yard. And then about 10 years ago, me and George decided we would start trying to recycle it for topsoil. So it's really good quality topsoil that had broken down. You can see a small heap of it behind me there. I know it doesn't look much, but you dig into that, it's a really nice bit of soil. So yeah, about 10 years ago, me and George decided to start recycling it and selling it as topsoil. But back then we didn't have anywhere near the equipment we've got now. So what we were doing was the bulk of it, we were just hand shoveling into bulk bags. We do about 10 bags at a time. Then if we were really lucky, we'd have the real old loader that we used to have, and if it was in this field at the time, we were able to use that. But it wasn't like a hydraulic loader, it had like a big cable connected to a latch on the bucket, so you would just hover over the bag, yank on this cable, which would take all the skin off your hands, and that would release the latch. The bucket would tip up and all the soil would fall in, and then you'd have to get out, go around and manually lift the bucket back up and clip it back into place, ready to go and get another bucket full. Because of how hard work it was and how long it took, we'd only do like 10 bags at a time. And then eventually, as we started to sell a bit more of it, we couldn't keep up with trying to process it, because this was all like evenings and after work. So then we started buying it in by the lorry load. We'd allocate a specific evening and we'd bring the little mini digger over, and we'd have one lorry load would come in, and we get like, I think about 20 bags out of it then. That may take us a couple of evenings to do, and then we gradually sell that over the next month, 6 weeks. But then fast forward today, I was just reminiscing a little bit. I think George has gone out with over 20 bags of topsoil just today, which obviously we would have never have kept up with. Thought I'd share that with you. It made me smile as I just walked past the heaps, thinking back to them times. Me and George just doing anything we could to make a pound note on the side, try and progress forwards. Scary how quick time goes actually. Quite nice that we have actually managed to stick together for them 10 years as well. Probably quite uncommon, I imagine, for two brothers to work together that long and not fall out.
What are you doing there then, Dad?
Taking the pipe off because some up it mucked it up big time.
Who done that?
Yeah, I wonder who it was, Jack.
That's coming off the bottom line then, isn't it?
Yeah. No wages for you this week.
Pardon?
No wages for you this week.
You've been washing up again this morning.
Yeah, I'm trying to stop getting greasy hands.
You get told off by Mum, do you?
Yeah.
Like the newness worn off that motor.
Right, I need to talk about something. Now, if you're tucking into your Sunday roast, I would probably pause now and hurry up and eat it, because God knows what's going on around here at night time at the moment. But we've got 4 gates to this field, and 2 of them, that's 50%. Somebody has, how do I say this politically correctly, soiled their underpants on 2 different occasions. The gate off the lane over the back there, someone has very kindly hung up their dirty pants on a branch inside the gate and left a nice pile of manure. And then this morning, coming into this gateway off the main road, there's a pair of boxer shorts full up with another massive pile of manure left in the middle of the gate. So this is a public service announcement. If you are in the Southampton area and happen to soil yourself, and I'm not judging, it happens to the best of us, but feel free to use any of our hedgerows, just help yourself. But just please don't squat down in the middle of the entrance. What is going on? I'm about to do something that in the 15 years that I've been doing this, we've never done before. And that is rip up a big section of one of the fields that we drilled last September. We decided that the damage is just too bad, we're not going to be able to recover it. We're not willing to risk jeopardising the quality of the turf. So we're going to bite the bullet, I'm going to rip a good section of this up and completely start again, which, like I say, we have never had to do before. Can't believe it, it's going to be heartbreaking this. trying to cheat a little bit and just see if I could rip up the worst gullies and sort of follow the curves where they go round to avoid ripping up a big section. But just had another little look over it and it's not going to work. So I am now going all the way across the field. I'm going to have to pull out one big full width land and rip the full section up. Such a waste of time and money. So as if that wasn't depressing enough, I'm now going to head off to our other field where the moles are working, see if we've had any luck over there catching them, or if they're still digging and doing damage. Please, if there's any turf gods out there, just allow us to catch these moles. I'm just grabbing the pickup now to head over there, and that will pretty much be the end of the week. I'm not going to get my hopes up, but again, I've not been out here for a while, and there's only 2 mounds. So you would think that that's a good sign, and that we potentially caught them, but I thought that before and it wasn't the case. So let's have a little look. Here we go, here's the first trap. It's not even gone off. So there's not going to be anything in there. I was not expecting that. Shit. Okay, I wasn't expecting that. So I had to cut the camera there. We have actually caught one. And it looks like we've only just caught it as well. Don't really know what to do now. Anyway, moving on, we'll put him into his final resting place and forget that never happened. I'm still in shock at that. I've given up all hope of catching them moles out of there. I genuinely would have not filmed taking the traps out the ground if I thought that there was going to be a mole in it. The thing is, now it's on camera, I'm going to have to put it in, aren't I? I need to watch it back. There's certain bits of it I think I'm going to have to cut out. You can probably imagine what them bits are. Maybe there are turf gods after all. We asked the question and he delivered. I don't know if there's any more working out there or not. Hopefully that is it now. And that is also it for this week. So as always, I hope you guys have had a fantastic week. I hope you've enjoyed episode 21 of Building a Family Business. I'll see you on the next one.